My name is Bob, and it's a great name, right? It's short, simple, and somewhat unique. When I tell people what my name is, some are surprised and some are in awe. The best feeling that I get is when I tell someone my name for the first time, and then a few weeks later, when I see them again, they remember it. Someone saying, "Hey Bob," sounds awesome because it feels like they're acknowledging my existence. This brings us to the first point in the book of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. To add on to this, one of my tutors thinks my name is Ben. I correct him every week, but he keeps on calling me Ben, and every time he does, I just cringe. Yeah, calling someone by their name is a great feeling for the other person. Now, these points that Dale Carnegie brings up are supposed to help you better interact with others socially and help you better deepen and build relationships. The next point in the book is don't criticize, condemn, and complain. I have talked about my dad a few episodes ago and he just sits at home and plays on his phone even though he's struggling to pay his bills. He also criticizes, condemns, and complains all the time. He criticizes, complains, and condemns for either being too tired, having no job, his doctor not helping him, or his fruit being too rotten, and on and on and on and on. I don't know how you feel when you have people around you constantly complaining, but for me, I always get that there's this negative energy surrounding that person, and it's just uncomfortable to be around them. For example, my dad bought a few pears a few months ago and he spent around like 10 minutes picking out pears that looked fresh and good. When he got home, he took one pear out of the bag and went to wash it and go eat it. But he found that there was a hole in the pear and he started complaining and criticizing at how the supermarket is horrible and how the supermarket is out to scam you because they hid this hole for my dad. His negativity then spread over to me and I started to get angry at my dad and at the supermarket as well. This is why Dale Carnegie says, don't criticize, condemn, and complain. The next point in the book is smile. I was helping out my mom in her clinic, and there was this patient that came in that could barely walk. He was limping and had a big frown on his face. When he was talking to my mom about his leg problem, he started to break down and even cry. After a section of acupuncture, he came out and he wasn't limping as much, and the best of all, he was smiling. That smile was filled with happiness and gratefulness towards my mom, and he literally walked out of my mom's clinic. I asked my mom about him when we were going home afterwards, and she told me that that smile was priceless, and that's why she does her job. Now, smiling does not only have to happen when something that extreme happens, but smiling basically makes others feel wonderful. When I tell a joke and people smile or laugh, it makes me feel great and wonderful. Just a simple smile can make others feel appreciated and great. The next point is, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. One of my professors told us that we were going to have a test on Friday, and I was expecting that this test would be very difficult, so I studied hard for it. Then, when it was the day of the test, I got my pencil out and I was ready to take the test. My professor then came in the room, took a chair and put it in the front of the classroom and sat down and said, "I am sorry, I do not have your test today, and I'm truly sorry of what I have put you through last night." The professor genuinely was sorry and admitted it as soon as he could. Yeah, some of us were still probably irritated and frustrated that he didn't have the test. But I'm sure we all forgave him in the end, or at least I know I forgave him. If he came in and just said that he forgot to print the test, and he blamed the printer, I would have been extremely mad at him for not doing his job properly, but since he was quick to admit his wrong, and he did it empathetically, there was less of a negative impact. The final point that we're going to go over is let the other person save face. One of my favorite examples of this is in a show called My Love Story. Basically, the main character has an accident and pees in his pants and he starts to cry. Then his best friend pours water on himself just to make the other person not stand out and seem like they just both got wet. His best friend saved a tremendous amount of face for the main character and their relationship deepened. An everyday example would be when I get into an argument with my mom. For example, we could be talking about coupons or something, and when I get the facts wrong, she just starts to rub it in my face, and she does not let me save any face. Instead, she is just worsening our relationship by saying, "I told you so." If she just accepted that I was wrong without rubbing it in my face, I am sure she would have let me just save some face. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.